Hey guys, it's Fusion Waves here, and yeah, today I'm gonna be doing part 2 to what if Deku had an eye quirk. I'm gonna change a few things. One, Sasuke is not coming back, that's true. I might do a few more crossovers just to teach him like a few techniques and all that, because I honest is okay, I'm gonna re-explain that. So technically, I'm gonna do a few crossovers from Naruto to teach him a few techniques. If I don't find any other way to give him those techniques, yeah. And also, I'm gonna try my best to make the story better and the romance, because there is going to be romance in my what ifs, yes. And last but not least, I'm changing Sparky's name. I really don't like it. I've just thought of a better name, and Sparky's new name is going to be Bolt. So if I say Bolt, you guys know it's just Sparky's new name. And Midoriya and Izuku and Izuma are going to be very good friends. Izuku doesn't even blame Izuma. He blames his parents. And I'm sorry because I keep on calling Izuku Midoriya when his name is Kurogane now. So, yeah. That's all that I really have to explain. Without further ado, play my intro. Now that's done, let's get straight into the story. So we start off at the first day of UA entrance exam. So, yeah. Izuku right now is walking to the UA with Momo. While they're walking, Momo thanks Izuku again for saving her. And Izuku says it's no problem, and he says that he would save her anytime. And this makes Momo blush a bit, because if you guys don't know, it's gonna be a Izuku x Momo what if 1, and 2, she really likes Izuku, so yeah. She starts to blush a bit, and Deku noticed, but he doesn't really blush that much because it's not really as embarrassing to him. So they're walking, then they get to class. They're walking through UN, and they get to class 1A, and they're like, such a big door. I wonder why. And Momo explains that it's probably because of other people who have mutant quirks and all that. And then, Deku gets it, and then they walk inside. They slide open the door to see Bakugo and Ida arguing. Bakugo's like, huh? Why should I take my feet off the desk? And it's like, Ida's like, you are being disrespectful to property. You need to take your legs off the desk. And then Bakugo is like, oh, did your old school sticker pull up your ass, or was it always there? And then, Ida gets mad. But, Izuma comes in, then he defuses the situation. Izuma looks at the door, and then he sees Izuku. He instantly recognizes Izuku because Izuku has green hair that fades into red at the tips. And Izuku instantly remembers Izuma because Izuma has the opposite. He has red hair that fades into green at the tips. As soon as they see each other, Izuku gets a bit teary. And this shocks Momo because Izuku is normally calm, a bit cold, and he never shows any emotion, usually. But as soon as he saw Izuma, he literally ran up and then he tackled Izuma, and he's like, brother! Izuma's like, Izuma's has that deku personality, he's very, very, very overexcited over little things. And I'm going to say that this time, Izuma's the one that saved Uraraka, so that might be a ship, who knows. So, yeah, you know, Bakugo like, who's this? And then Izuma, tells him like, oh, this is Izuku, remember him? And then Bakugo remembers, the twins, Izuku and Izuma, and he's like, oh, Izuku, dude. Like, he's gonna call Izuku Deku, because that's what he usually called him, because his quirk, like, I'm gonna say that, like, they had a year, because they locked the quirks at 4, and honestly, Bakugo thinks it's weak, so he says, oh, Deku, and he calls Izuma Ryu, because Ryu is like dragon, and he also breathes fire. So yeah, I'll watch that later. So Mom was a bit confused, and then she asks who's this, and then he says my twin brother. And Mom was surprised because she didn't really know that Izuku had a twin. So she introduces herself, and in this one, Momo's not gonna be as shy because of Izuku. Izuku is going to make sure she's not as shy. He's going to go places with her, go out on places, like not on dates. Like, he's going to make sure she socially interacts because he doesn't want Momo to become an introvert. So yeah, she's gonna not be as what was it called? Nervous around other people. So that happens. They talk for a bit. Then a caterpillar in a bag comes up from the floor, and it scares everyone. And as soon as this happens, it turns around and says, "It took you guys 2 minutes to shut up. That's not acceptable. Put on your gym clothes and go outside." So they do put on their gym clothes to go outside, and this is where Aizawa explains the quirk assessment test. So it starts off, he posts about Bakugo and says, Bakugo, what's your father's story in middle school? And he said, like, around the 60s or 70s. Then he told Bakugo to throw with his quirk. He got 705 meters, and they were all in, like, amazed a bit, like, not to an extent. Like, they were all amazed. So, as always, this is gonna be a quirk assessment exam. A girl with pink skin says, this is gonna be fun. And then Aizawa says, fun, huh? Okay, how about this? Whoever comes in last is getting expelled. And then a girl with brown hair and a bob cut says, that's not fair. And then Aizawa says, are hero attacks fair? Are natural disasters fair? No. Heroes are there to counter that unfairness. So, yeah. So, they start with it. They start with the 50-meter dash. It's Todoroki versus Bakugo versus Ida versus Izuku. So Izuku doesn't really... Actually, he does. So he's going to run this one because he asked Aizawa if teleporting is allowed. And Aizawa just said no because it's going to be like a physical test, kind of. So they start running. Izuku wins because he's going to use a form of Godspeed. Like, he's going to try his body with electricity. So his hair spikes up. Yellow sparks start to come off of him. And he runs, He's fast, but not as fast as he would be. Or as he would be in full cowling if he had one for all. So, yeah. That happens. And yeah, I forgot to tell you, I'm giving Izuma one for all. Okay? So Izuma is gonna be the one that did the sludge build incident. He's gonna have one for all. So they're all surprised, especially Izuma, because he only remembers his brother having some sort of eye quirk. that changes his eye color. And then Izuma asks, "What was that?" And he tells who tells Izuma that he's gonna explain later. So they leave, and Izuku gets first place on technically everything, except the ball throw. So when we get to the ball throw, this one's gonna be very, very interesting. And then Izuku asks Aizawa if they can use anything as long as it's related to their quirk, right? Aizawa says yes. So Izuku uses something that I'm gonna create. He flashes his one Tomoe. No, he flashes a one Tomoe light side. A one Tomoe light side Raijin on his right, and a 2 Tomoe right side Raijin on his left. So if I tell you guys, right? So his second ability with the 2 Tomoe right side is foresight, like future, like he can see into the future. So this one's gonna be a bit different. He combines what's it called? He puts lightning on the ball, then he uses foresight and foresight and short-range teleportation. When he mixes those two in, he creates some kind of time skip. So he's like teleporting into the future. So when he throws the ball vanishes, then reappears at the place it would have been 10 seconds later. So that happens, but it's still going because instead of it just stopping at the place it would have stopped before, it keeps on going because it's like this. Think of you putting the ball where it was going to be 10 seconds later, then throwing it. So it goes farther than it would have gone before. And he gets 1,500. Everyone's impressed. And especially Aizawa, because he tried to erase Deku's quirk and it didn't work. Because his quirk is kind of like a dojutsu, like I said before. So he can't really be erased. It's more of a gene than a quirk. Like, it's gonna be a type of quirk. Because I don't really want to name the thing. What if Deku had a dojutsu? Because I'm too lazy to change the name now. So, yeah. That starts off, and we honestly don't really have anything else to do. And then Izuma walks up to Deku, and then he the score is like this. The leaderboard shows Izuku at first, Izuma at second, Bakugo at third, and Shiro at fourth. Further on. No, Momo's gonna be second actually. And Izuma's gonna be third because Momo has creation to help her. So yeah. Izuma asks Deku how he did all of that, and Deku explains that it was his eyes, and he tells Izuma that his eyes have different forms that give him different powers, and then he asks how did the ball disappear, and Izuku said that he used two abilities at the same time, so he used an ability called foresight that allows him to see into the future, and teleportation. So when he combined the two, it made some kind of time skip that made the ball appear where it would have been 10 seconds ago, and then it started going higher. So that happens. Izuku also tells Izuma that it has a light and dark side because he figured it out. Because I'm gonna say that when he activates the Raijin in front of Momo told him that the Raijin this time doesn't really have those black dots it used to be. It's white now. So yeah, Izuma and Deku walk to the station together. They bond. Then Izuku walks the rest of the way with Momo. He drops her home, tells her goodbye, then goes home to Shiro. And then he tells Shiro that he just met his twin brother Izuma, Shiro's like, oh, and did it go on it? Then Izuku said yes, like he really likes his brother because his brother is like his light, like a Sasuke and Naruto friendship. So it's his light because up until now, besides, unless he's with Shiro or Momo or Izuma, Deku's really, really, and I mean really, cold. So like he won't really answer anything. And yeah, and if you guys asking why I just ended school, like I'm gonna end it early because I'm gonna say that Aizawa was going to sleep, when we all know he's probably just gonna watch some cat videos in his sleeping bag. So yeah, the next day, All Might walks in, and All Might says that they're going to be doing battle training, right? Izuku's hero costume is going to be this. Think of... What should I give him, honestly? I don't really know. Hero costume would be for you guys to decide if any of you guys actually comment on my videos. So, yeah. It's for you guys to decide. I also might double upload today. That's also a thing. So, yeah, he walks out. Momo says that it's a nice costume. And Deku can tease. So he teases at Momo and says, so is yours. Very revealing. And Momo starts to blush, saying, you know how my quirk works. And then he's like, yeah, I know. So, yeah. The team's going to be switched up a bit. It's going to be Izuma and Uraraka, Deku and Momo. And besides that, the teams are relatively the same. And it's going to be Izuma and Uraraka versus Deku and Momo. So, Izuma and Uraraka make a plan, like Uraraka will float the bomb so that it's light and she can carry it all around. And Izuma's gonna try to hold them off. So Izuku says that he'll fend off against Izuma and she should go get the bomb, okay? So that happened. When they get to the second floor, they see Izuma there. Izuma decides to blow fire. And he can control the fire, right? So he shoots a fireball at him, and Izuku dodges this because he doesn't really have any good moves for this. He grabs Momo, bridal style, and then he teleports behind Izuma and says, Momo, go get the bomb. I'll hold Izuma off. So while he's holding Izuma off, Momo goes to go get the bomb. And then Izuma noticed that Deku's eyes are still the same, like those bright green, and he tells him, take me seriously, dude. Like, we're brothers. And he's like, if you say so. And he flashes his 3 Tomoe Raijin light side. Raijin light side. Yeah. And Deku can predict. He can easily predict moves with this. So he starts to dodge Izuma, and I'm gonna say that Izuku trained in some martial arts because he has perfect memory and perfect copy. So, he starts to fight back, counter-attacking, and this is when Izuma uses One for All. And Deku knows this is a different quirk. So when he starts using One for All, lightning starts to come off of his body, and when he shoots a fireball now, it comes off in a very, 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 very light blue. And this is him trying his hardest to attack and make sure to get past Izuku or win the fight. That happens. And yeah, he has a former Pokemon because I'm gonna say that Izuma knows how to use a quirk better And he also knew what he meant when All Might said let the power flow. And he didn't take him 10 months to clean up the beach, because Izuma's actually gonna be built in this one. So he shoots the fireball, right? As soon as he shoots the fireball, Deku tanks it. He tanks the fireball. Sorry guys, I'm just moving a bit. He tanks the fireball. And as soon as he tanks the fireball, he comes out, his hero costume burned a bit, and his eyes still in the 3 Tomoe state. And then he told Izuma that those are some impressive flames, but they cannot rival mine. And then he uses, yes, if you guys know what I'm gonna do, I'm going to give him the Mataratsu. But I'm gonna make like he's gonna like be able to set things on fire. He's gonna start off red, then he can make it hotter until it comes to Mataratsu. Because I don't want my guy killing Izuma by accident, because he doesn't know how to control it. So he sets Izuma on fire, and Izuma can control fire as long as it's not hotter than his. So Izuma starts to control it, and Izuku notices this, and he's like, not on my watch. Then he turns the fire to a blue, and Izuma can't control it, so he starts like, he has little fire resistance, but not enough to withstand the heat. So he says, he passes out from the pain, and Izuku tapes him. During all of this, Momo contacts Izuku saying that she found the bomb on the 5th floor, and he should get up here. Izuku gets up there, and he sees Momo fighting against Uraraka. Momo's currently using a staff, because I'm going to say that Izuku taught her how to use weapons, because he doesn't want her to not being able to use anything. So he taught her how to use weapons. And right now, Uraraka's literally just carrying the bomb around. And unlucky for her, the nausea of using zero gravity just kicked in. So she curls up on the floor, really nauseated, and then she pukes. She's on the floor, she can't move. Then Momo stops fighting, then she goes to touch the bomb. It says hero teams win, and everyone's impressed. And they asked who the MVP was, and this time nobody raises their hand because Momo can't really judge herself. So All Might says that the MVP was Izuku, because Izuku took out the opponent and made a plan and didn't cause that much air damage. So yeah, that happens. That's it. They go home. I told them I'm gonna be going to the USJ in a few days, in like a week. So yeah, they should rest up. And yeah, that's it. Hey guys, it's me, Fusion What Ifs. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. And this is a disclaimer, I don't own any of these pictures. So that's it. Bye.